All right, ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome y'all back to Off the Beaten Path. We are here at the OTIS booth. We want to say thank you to OTIS for opening up their space to us to podcast. Today we have an amazing guest.
Amazing.
I had to do a little bit of convincing because that's just how the conversation went. But we got her on, and I want to introduce her, but I'm going to let her introduce herself because she's dope. So, Erin, without further ado, introduce yourself to the people.
Well, first off, thank you guys for having me.
Of course.
It's been a while since I've seen y'all.
Thank you for being here.
And it looks like you guys are growing and doing amazing things, so it's cool to catch up and follow you guys. So I'm excited to catch up on that later on. But anyways, my name's Erin Crooks. I am a marketing director for Freedom Outdoors. We own a couple shooting ranges in Virginia and Atlanta. And I'm a single mom of 2 kids who are wonderful most of the time. 13-year-old boy and a 6-year-old daughter. And then that's kind of about it. That definitely is what takes up my life right now. Very busy with work, with Freedom Outdoors is growing every single year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we just bought our 4th shooting range. We just opened up in July.
Wow.
We opened up the Atlanta ranges, I think, right after I saw you guys
last. Yep, I remember we texted about that. Yep.
Yeah, so it's been busy and it's been fun. Yeah.
So how did you fall into the space?
I got into the hunting side and not anywhere on like this level, not on a manufacturer level or sales rep or ambassador. It was way before that. Yeah, I was an enthusiast, and then I worked out at a hunting lodge in Alaska. I had moved up there in my 20s, and I had gotten into hunting young 20s. Grew up doing it. The girls didn't really hunt when I grew up, but we all went to hunting camp. So I grew up around it, and then I got into it myself in my 20s. I remember telling my brother, I'm ready to go deer hunting, and my grandma gave me her first rifle that she killed her first deer with. I killed my first deer with it.
That's amazing.
And I was addicted, and I remember, I think I was 22, 23, and I was like, I want to move up to Alaska. And I had lived up there in high school.
Where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Oregon, on the Oregon coast, Coos Bay, Oregon. And then my dad had moved up to Craig, Alaska, which is Prince of Wales Islands, very southeast.
Yep.
So I lived up there in high school, loved it, and I wanted to move back. So I didn't, have a lot going on in my 20s. I had opted out of college. I went helicopter logging, and then I was waitressing. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. I was bouncing around. And so I moved up there. A little bit different times. That was almost 20 years ago, so I didn't get hired on as, I wanted to be an apprentice, to be a hunting guide, and I couldn't get that. So I got a job out at a hunting lodge, and they actually made me the baker.
The baker?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
And no, it wasn't, because I didn't bake.
Well,
I didn't bake.
You're the baker.
I like sweets.
I learned how to bake when I was out there, but I had a great time with the people that I met, the other hunting guides and fishing guides, and that was pretty eye-opening to me. When I got back, that was out in Larson Bay, and I got back to the main town of Kodiak, and I started working as a deckhand on a charter fishing boat out there, and then that's all I did in my free time was just go fish, and then it was hunting season when it was in. That's all I did.
Outdoors woman all around. Yeah. That's cool. And how long have you been working at Freedom Outdoors?
Freedom I've been with for 6.5 years, maybe a little more than that now. And I had actually, prior to that, I had a nonprofit called Raise 'Em Outdoors.
Yep.
I had wanted to start something, I didn't know what. It's been about 10 years now since I started that. And I used to just collect people's used fishing gear and hunting gear. And I just wanted to give it to kids because I know it's like a barrier to get into the sport. It's expensive. It's expensive to get boots or get proper gear because you want your kids to be warm if you're going to take them hunting. Because if they're going to be comfortable, they're going to have a good time to want to go back.
That's right.
And so I was just, for a lot of us, we'll buy stuff and use it once or twice, and then maybe we'll buy the next thing that comes in. And so that's kind of how Raise 'Em Outdoors started. And then I wanted to scale it somehow and make a bigger impact. So I started doing youth camps, and I grew my team. And we were doing weekend camps with the family, parents and kids together. And they would come out and learn your basic archery skills, firearm safety skills, and fishing. We'd put a 3D archery course, et cetera, together. But that's kind of how I got in with Freedom, is I did their summer camp.
Wow.
So I did a week-long summer camp. They had reached out to me. I had known them already a little bit through the industry and stuff. And I did their first summer camp. I helped put on their fishing and their archery, and then helped with their firearm safety courses. And then they offered me a job 2 months later, and I started working there.
That's dope. You know what I think is really dope? Like, it's been very prevalent over the conversations we've been having, is that at some point everybody's like, I either want to give back and help bring people into the space, or I want to grow the space. We had a conversation, was it yesterday or the day before, with Jim West? Are you familiar with Lake Erie Arms?
No.
He's the CEO of Lake Erie Arms, and he's doing some pretty cool initiatives to bring in the younger demographic, so children, teenagers, via airsoft stuff. So that's pretty cool. And so hearing you talk about like your efforts with, what was it called? Raise 'em Outdoors?
Just Raise 'em Outdoors. Because I always, and you guys can probably maybe agree with this and relate to this, I feel like when you get kids into a hobby, whether it's sports, but not every kid's going to get into sports.
Yep.
Right.
Getting them into fishing or hunting, something outdoors, like having that healthy, just something else to do, gets them away from drugs and getting in trouble. I have a 13-year-old obsessed with bass fishing. I guarantee if his buddies were like, hey, let's go, I want to go smoke a bull and let's try this, I found it, he'd be like, I don't want to
not
go
interested.
catch a bass. He's like, I have other stuff to do, and it's just a different outlet. I think it works as well as sports does. You find your camaraderie with your other friends that like to fish, kind of like if you're playing football, you love your football team.
Well, we grew up in the city.
Yeah, for sure.
We grew up in the city, so we were like, "Hey, you want to go to Miami?"
Right.
Yeah, sure.
But
let's
we had
go.
a balance, though.
Yeah, we did.
We're in South Florida,
Yeah, we
so
did.
we're West Palm Beach, so we got lakes to the west, the swamp.
Yeah.
Like you said, Miami was to the south. We also got the
ocean
there,
to the east.
So, I was a skater, surfer. Got into fishing, so it's good to have all those outlets for sure.
Yeah, and I love the beach. I feel at one with the beach.
Yeah.
There's times where I think, man, I'd like to move. Actually, when I lived in Texas, I hated every minute. Shout out to Texas, I love y'all, but man,
where you were at in Texas.
No.
Specifically.
No. The entire Gulf of Mexico does not compete with the Atlantic Ocean. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Texas is a big place.
It's
like if you go to Miami, you're like, I don't like Jacksonville. It's a massive
Oh yeah, because I love Houston. I love Houston.
You were in a little small town. Probably like, what is going on?
It was a dry county. I was like,
going from South Florida to out there.
Yeah, it's like, y'all don't sell liquor on what day? Sunday?
Yeah, I love Texas too, but I don't know that could be my home. Yes, I love Texas as well.
And the heat is unbearable.
And like you said, it's cool to hear some of the same, we have these conversations a lot. And we were talking to Jim actually about some of the fear behind it. The barrier to entry is, can be a little difficult. Where do I start? Where do I go? So I think that's cool with some of the initiatives that you're doing.
I think
that's where we're supposed to make it better and pass all this off.
Yeah, it's how we
to
keep
future
it
generations,
going and keep it
for
growing.
them to have it. Yeah.
I think one thing we found too, and back then I wasn't a single mom back then, but I was, I've always been was a military wife, and so it was a lot of just me raising my kids alone. And one thing I noticed.
Wait, hold on. Shout out to you.
Yeah.
We're gonna do an applause. And then we're gonna add. Hold on. It's almost done. Air horn. Yeah, because that's dope. We can't just say,
need to do it. My
bad. No, it's all good. Just raise a woman who's at home raising children. That in and of itself is a full-time job.
And with overtime.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amen.
Facts, because dinner time you still gotta cook and all that other stuff.
You don't get the clock out.
Yeah.
No, that's
So
nonstop.
wait, hold on. Hats off.
She's like these guys. I love that we didn't tell her. Sorry, because we're usually like, okay, tip of the cap.
Yeah,
just did it.
So how long have you said 6 years at Freedom Outdoors?
Yeah.
You worked your way up through the marketing ranks?
Yeah, I got hired on as admin.
Yep.
I was looking for a part-time job. I think my daughter was 4 months old or 6 months old, so I wasn't ready to work full-time. So I started doing admin work there, accounts payable, receivable, working with our government contracts because we do a lot of leasing there. Virginia Beach, largest Navy base in the world, so a lot of those guys rent our range for calls and stuff. And then when I got divorced, I was like, okay, I got to jump back in here, start taking care of my family by myself. I don't want to depend on anybody, so I just kind of jumped in at anything that I felt like I found opportunity that I felt like I could help grow. I started getting into memberships. I worked in the warehouse. Like I worked in every side of Freedom Outdoors that you could get your hands into. And then when the opportunity for marketing opened up, I just jumped on it.
Yeah, because like sales and all that, it's all encompassing of marketing. That was kind of like my journey. I started off in sales, built a sales team, then I jumped to relationships, built the relationships, and then I ended up in marketing, and here we are. That's pretty dope. So now you're the head of marketing.
Yes. It's also just me, but yes. I have a really nice title. VP of marketing.
That's awesome.
But y'all are growing, like you said. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So are your ranges attached to the building?
Yeah.
Or is it like an outdoor range? Okay.
They're all indoor shooting ranges. Virginia Beach, we have, gosh, if I get this answer wrong, I got to do math. 34 shooting lanes, 4 ranges inside that location. I think it's around 55,000 square feet.
Wow.
And then the one we just opened in Richmond, 70,000 square feet, 4 stories, 5 ranges, indoor shoot house in the basement.
Wow.
Like that facility's incredible.
So, wow. 4 stories?
Yeah.
That's
of all
great.
shooting ranges?
That's the biggest one.
Yeah.
Wow. And but you guys also have retail, right? Like your actual.
And it's a retail side's enormous as well.
Yeah.
You know, we got 20,000 plus square feet in the Virginia Beach one, so probably bigger than that in Richmond. Cool. Yep. And then one in Atlanta. It's in Midtown, and I'm pretty sure it's the only shooting range in the city limits for downtown Midtown Atlanta. And then there's a smaller location. Excuse me. Just outside in Douglasville, Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
It's just outside of Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's actually a great location.
Yeah.
We drive through all the
spot.
time. Yeah.
So, 6 years, we made it through a crazy time in human history with the pandemic. How much have you seen change, just like maybe with the demographics of people coming through the door? Or have you? You know, did you see a big shift?
A very big shift. I mean, the amount of new shooters in 2020, I don't know the stats, but it was incredible.
Oh, yeah, we've seen some of the purchases of firearms.
Post-pandemic.
Women in the space, women getting into fire. So that's why I asked, like, did you like, was it tangible? You saw it?
Yes, especially for, we only had the headquarters location in Virginia Beach. It was huge. Like, I think it really helped put us on the map because we offered free training. Because, people were panic buying back then. Everybody wanted to buy it. They didn't care. And
everything. Toilet paper, panic buying.
Yeah, and with guns, too, it didn't matter. I remember because people would come in, because background checks were taken 2 to 3 days back then because so many people were buying guns.
What a crazy
man.
But they would show back up and they're like, I'm here to pick up my gun, I got approved. And I was like, all right, well, what's your name and what did you get? So I got to go look through a big pile of firearms to see what you got. Like, I don't know, a 9mm. And I was just like, wild. You have no clue what you picked out 3 days ago. They just knew they wanted a new gun.
Remember ammo prices during the pandemic?
We kept it. So I think that's what really earned our trust in our community.
Oh, like you didn't go crazy with
We didn't price gouge. And we did not limit anybody. Wow. You could buy, if you wanted to buy the whole pallet of ammo that we happen to have, you could buy it.
Yeah.
So
that's dope.
Yeah,
we didn't raise our prices on guns. We didn't raise our prices on ammo. A little bit on ammo because we had to.
Yeah.
But we kept it. I mean, we hit low margins.
It was just a scarcity thing, right? There were so many people, like you said, just trying to hoard everything. It was a wild time.
But the amount of repeat customers of loyalty, that people that came back. So we saw a lot of new people enter into the industry then with a lot of new gun owners, but they came back, following up with training or, actually getting into the space, coming to get their second gun, third gun.
That was one of the reasons why we decided for our second season to be exclusively all women. Because there's, NSSF has the data, like the largest demographic of people growth in the space is women. And it's like, well, why the hell wouldn't we tell the stories and amplify voices of women who are doing dope stuff in the space? And that's one of the things I told you is like, I think it's dope that you're a woman that works in the space and you're marketing. I like women in power. That's just dope. Hey, don't misconstrue my words, America. I'm not saying that like politically. I'm just saying it like right now. Let me clarify that. Wait, what's the sound?
We need you're the sound guy. That's somewhere on there.
Yeah, there it goes.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Like to hear, for you to see it firsthand, and that's where we all started somewhere. Like, what was your first experience with a firearm?
My my first experience with a firearm, I was actually sitting next to, I was 14 years old, and I was sitting in a car behind my boyfriend at the time, and he shot himself in the stomach on accident.
What?
He lived, but that was my very first experience around.
Yes. Wild.
And
How old were you?
I was 14 years old.
Wow.
And
What was your immediate response? Was it like, did this really just happen?
did this really just happen? And it was the whole scenario.
He was like, no, did he try to play? Oh, we're good, we're good.
No,
Was that Cheddar Bob?
He definitely didn't, and the whole scenario was
Oh
not.
my gosh.
I wasn't the
Cheddar
best.
Bob.
I wasn't the best kid at 14 years old.
I don't think any of us.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
well,
no,
at least.
So his friend
definitely.
had took off because he
He freaked
had a
out.
felony.
He's like, I'm out of here.
He had a felony,
Oh.
so he didn't want to be there. So I was left alone with the police. I had to call 911. I was with the situation. My dad, my parents were so upset.
man.
Obviously, I didn't touch a handgun or a rifle after that until I was 20 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, for 6 years.
Wow. So you're already full
just-
grown. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he just had to walk it off, huh?
Yeah.
This boy headed out.
Yeah. Imagine now he's telling everybody, yeah, I got shot when I was
guess-
younger.
You heard of
Yeah.
50 Cent? Well, yeah, it was kind of similar story.
Yeah, it was like a single penny. Single penny.
It's something for that.
Yeah, oh,
don't
yeah,
it?
yeah. Well, let's do a air horn.
A nickel.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very, very informal, this podcast.
Yes,
so
yeah,
it's,
Yeah, you're
we
good.
go off.
I
We're
like
trying
it.
to keep it on the rails, but
yeah.
wow, I wasn't expecting that. That
yeah,
was,
no,
So it
that's
took-
actually the first, like, story like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone
yeah.
has been a story either, oh, I got into Olympic shooting, or my granddad, or my
Yeah,
dad,
something.
and that I
Well,
love
that
that.
was just my first experience. So yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
I
for sure.
didn't mess
'Cause
with
that's
guns.
something- Regardless of how, like, the first time I saw a firearm, it seared into my mind, and nothing like even
Yeah.
remotely
Oh,
close
yeah.
to that happened. I just remember
Yeah.
seeing like, wow, and seeing it operate.
Yeah.
You know, with my dad as a little kid, I'm just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is great. So to see that go down,
The story with his dad are always the best. Because his
Yeah.
dad was R.I.P. dad.
Yeah,
the
R.I.P.
big
Pops.
country dude from where? Tennessee,
Tennessee Tim, just
And-
like the smoothest.
He would
and
talk like
this.
this.
Isn't me like glamorizing.
Yeah, glamorizing him.
My pops, I know we
Yeah.
all. He was. I didn't realize it really at the time because that's just my dad. I'm like, every dad does this, right? I just thought every kid
Yeah.
has a dad like this. But as I got older and I realized like this dude's like a badass, a black
it's
belt,
awesome.
a hunter,
Yeah.
a fisher, a marksman. I mean, he'd just run through clays, and I'd be out there like, he's like, all right, boy, next time.
Yeah,
But
get in
to
trouble,
see
boy.
that, and he instilled that in me, which is good. And then I got away from it, like you said. I wasn't
Yeah.
when I turned into a teenager and I found the mall and video game. I was like,
Man.
yeah, Dad. And I say
But
this,
you had
if I
that foundation when you got back
right,
into it.
exactly, and the way it kind of comes back to you like that is awesome. And we have these conversations
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah.
So it's just cool because I'm 48. And I think that, man, my dad was that age,
Yeah.
So now I can do this I have two daughters, 4 and 6.
This is great because he's 48. How old are they now?
4 and 6.
He'll call me randomly like, now I know why my dad had a hunting lease.
Yeah.
Straight, because I used to think,
You gotta
seriously,
get
as a
that dad
kid, I'm
break.
like, yo, how does he do this?
Yeah.
I mean, because, anyone that's been hunting,
Yeah.
we didn't always hunt deer, but there was times I was in a deer stand just sitting there.
Yeah.
And I'm a
Hours, yeah.
rambunctious kid. Like,
Yeah.
how on earth does this man sit here like this and just like eat out of a can and drink? I'm just like, this
Bean
is
dip
crazy.
in Doritos.
It was legit crazy to me as a kid.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, wow, I get it. I
Yeah.
unplug. We go
I
out. We
need
go
that time.
hunting.
Yeah.
We went hog hunting in Texas. We documented a young lady actually with her family and her daughter shot Bethany Bethard. Amazing.
Yeah,
young
she's
lady.
dope.
Her
She's
daughter,
really dope.
took down her first deer.
We got it on
captured
film. Yeah,
on
we got
camera.
it.
I'm just like, yo, she doesn't realize yet her daughter.
You're in Virginia, right?
Yeah.
Have you been
We're
to is it Massanutten, Manasutton?
Man, I don't know. We
No.
always jack that
I
up.
know what you're talking about, but no.
Well, so we
Massanutten,
went there. Like one of our first influencer events was out there, and we went to the mountaintop, and we like fell in love with the
we're South
outdoors.
Florida guys.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
it's
you went in the
flatlands.
summertime or?
it was like
September.
It was like
yeah,
fall.
yeah.
it was
But it
amazing
was
up there.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
The weather at night, and then the real thing, my brother. You saw my brother. He's a gorilla. He's like, hey. We're like, yo. He's like, bro, there's deers at the front door.
Yeah,
he goes, give me that watermelon we bought. And he broke it, and he opens the front door. He chucks it out.
Come here, little buddy.
He goes, look, it's a deer. And then he says, let's find more fruit. So he closes the door, and the 2 chunks of watermelon, the 2 halves, are still there. So we find bananas. We open the door. There was 4 deers there.
Yeah, he called in his buddies.
Yeah, he was like, we gotta take pictures. He was like, this is great, because it's that we don't see stuff like that. Like we'll see iguanas all day.
So I guess what we're saying is, get out.
Yeah,
Go
get
out to the
outside.
outdoors.
Yeah.
Unplug, find the balance like you talked about, because.
So do you get much of that nowadays? Like, do you get to go outside a lot, or?
Not this year, but I try to. Yeah, I try to as much as possible.
So how old are your kids?
So 13 and 6.
Okay.
So that's the tough part, because my daughter always has to come. My son is like, can we please not bring Charlie? That's her name. And I'm like, no, we don't. We have to bring Charlie.
Is it Charlie or is it short for Charlotte?
It's Charlie.
Oh, that's adorable.
My son's name is Gus.
Gus?
Yeah.
Hey.
And he
like
loves to hunt, loves to fish. It's funny because I took him a couple weeks ago before the end of the season, and we're driving back into town, and he's like, oh, I hate the city. And I was like, well, we don't live in the city, buddy. Like, we're in the suburbs, but I feel you.
Yeah,
we still, we're not quite in the city now, but.
Well, that too. Like, I remember I would go visit people in the country, and I'm like, how do y'all live out here? I need some action. Like, where's the city at? And now we get away out of South Florida and into the woods, and I'm like, I feel like I can take a breath and just relax and unplug.
It's amazing. It's powerful to just be able to, like.
It is.
Oh, it's great.
Praise
fresh
God
air.
that we're blessed to be able. This is such a great industry. We talk to so many great people like yourself, and just the fact that everyone, like you said, it seems that common theme is like, we got to grow this. We got to make it better. We got to get people involved and to see what we see firsthand.
Are
and
you
experience
you guys hunt in Florida, right?
Yeah.
Not as much. We've pretty much traveled out of state. We can though. Yeah, there's public land down there we can hunt on, but it's
all the invites we've gotten are out of town,
Georgia,
and they pay us to do.
Perfect.
That's
well, let's go.
We go plink some iguanas out of the trees out back, which are
that's cool too, because
my kid would love that.
It's crazy.
You should come down sometime. We should do that.
I have 20 generations of them living on I open the door, and they're just, they're everywhere. It's crazy.
They're literally everywhere.
Chicken of the tree.
Well, so look, we're at 22 minutes. We're trying to keep these at 30 minutes and under. I want to say thanks for being on the show. I'm not killing this right now. I just want to talk about a little bit more about Freedom Outdoors, because y'all are e-com as well. Yeah. And y'all ship to the lower 48 or
all 50 states. Yeah.
Oh wow.
As long as we can ship you. As long as you're in a good state, we can ship it to you, we'll ship it to you.
That's cool. And so what's the website? How can people find y'all?
freedomoutdoors.us.
Okay.
Awesome.
And what do y'all what's 2026 and beyond looking like for y'all? Like, what's on the agenda?
So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some more growth ahead of us, more shooting ranges to open. But I think we're really focused on, how can we diversify our revenue?
Yeah.
Growing. It's our membership. We have 10,000 members across 4 locations. And so I think that's another big emphasis for us. How do we continue to grow but still service our members and make them be able to feel the value that they get from that?
Yeah.
And training is a big focus for us as well. So training is definitely something. We saw a big tick after COVID, and it feels like it's starting to die down again last year. So it's really, because it's important.
Yeah.
If you're going to have a firearm, you should know how to use it.
No question.
Yeah. And war affects sales and stuff like that too. You got to take all that into consideration. So, and that's that's all the business side of it, and that's can be boring sometimes.
But for sure, find you guys. You're in. How many? Sorry, run through that again. How many locations
so we're
in Virginia?
Virginia Beach, Virginia, Richmond, Virginia, Midtown Atlanta, and Douglasville, Georgia.
Okay.
So, and I think a big focus for us for 2026 too is getting all our vendors, working on our partnerships, bringing them into our space so they can talk to the customers, so they can actually talk to the experts beyond our sales associates. We were gonna, they're well trained and can speak on it, but it really draws a big crowd. It helps get people who want to know about 6 Hour. They don't know anything about suppressors. We love doing educational seminars with Silencer Co. or Silencer Shop, etc. It seems to bring in a new crowd. And then we have a big SIG Rose event, which will be great for the ladies.
Fire.
Yeah.
That's
Love
cool.
that.
That's dope.
Yeah,
well,
sure.
we appreciate you
Yeah, I appreciate
being
you.
on.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, we're
Likewise.
excited to roll all this content out
Yeah.
for, I think we're doing, what, 10, 11 episodes?
I didn't
This-
say the F word, so I'm pretty
That was amazing. That was
Applause.
Good. Yeah,
Applause.
Yeah.
There we go. And applause because, yeah,
To be frank, no.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a big
Frank.
part of my
Oh,
vocabulary.
yeah.
So pat
Oh.
on the back.
Forget about it. Wait,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know we're wrapping up. Are you a mob movie person at all?
No.
Really?
Sorry.
Forget about it.
We can't work in the gun
Forget
space and not
about
love
it.
mob movies.
Now you just can't leave. No.
Now you just can't leave.
All right.
All right,
Fair
everybody.
enough.
We appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Yep.
We appreciate the amazing, beautiful Erin coming in and being a guest on our podcast. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe, all the digital stuff to, grow this platform. We can't do it without y'all.
Yep.
And until next time,
Shout out to Otis again. Thank you.
that part.
That part.